Cut out foods or not to cut out foods? That is the question today. But first, if you're new here, my name is Nicole. If you are not new here, welcome back. I'm so glad that you came back. I am a wife and mom to five girls, and I have three grandbabies, and I'm on a quest to lose 100 pounds in 2026. That is the plan, anyways. We'll see if the weight loss actually cooperates. Regardless, I am on this journey. I am committed to this journey. And so today I wanted to talk about something that once I finally, I guess, accepted this part of my life, it has made this journey to start losing weight a lot easier. And this is something that has kept me stuck for a long time. And I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it has caused the shame spiral of not ever being able to lose weight or to even get into a good rhythm of losing weight. But what I'm talking about is called being a moderator or being an abstainer. And so, what that means is basically if you can eat certain foods in moderation, or if it's better for you to just not have certain foods at all. And I know that people constantly want to jump on the bandwagon. Like if you know that you're going to cut out, like for instance, the beginning of January, I cut out sugar. And I've done this before, and I know it takes a long time to get in the groove, but I also know that I feel so much better when I'm not having sugar. Um, but that's one of those things that people come out of the woodwork to tell you that you're wrong. Like there's no reason that you can't eat it in moderation. I actually printed off a list of things that I came up with that people have said that really have knocked me off the wagon because I wasn't in a place mentally yet that I could handle this. And so as soon as they started telling me that, and obviously it's uncomfortable to cut out sugar, then I started being like, "Ooh, are they right?" And second guessing myself and second guessing the decision I made. And so here's a list. Tell me if you have ever heard these. Maybe you've said them. If you have, stop saying them. But if you ever said these to somebody or like if you've ever had people say these to you, because I'm sure that you're going to hear some in this list that people have said to you and it gets in your head and it makes it really hard. So everything in moderation, one cookie isn't going to hurt you. You don't need to be that extreme. That sounds really unhealthy to be that fixated on something. I could never give that up. Life's too short to not enjoy food. Are you sure that's safe? You're fine just the way you are. Um, just have a little. Or you've been so good that you deserve to have it. Or it's a special occasion. It's a birthday. It's a celebration. It's whatever it is. Um, it doesn't matter. You work out every day, you'll burn it off later, or that seems really hard to that seems really hard to stick with over the long term, or I tried that once and it didn't work for me, or it didn't last, or I couldn't keep the motivation and I just fell back off. So it's stupid to even try that. Or your body needs carbs, or are you starving yourself? Like that can't be healthy. Or you're just taking this too seriously, or you're letting food control your life. Or a good one is God wouldn't want you to suffer, which is such a lie. So many times in the Bible where we're called to sacrifice things. And then maybe a last one would be like, why can't you just eat normal? Like, why can't you just have that one cookie or that one piece of candy and just be done? And so my husband and I got talking about that this weekend because that is my cycle. I know that those foods are not nutritious for me. I know that I don't feel good when I have them. I'm kind of getting to the point where, and this is probably like a um insulin resistance kind of thing, but I'm getting to the point where if I eat sugar or like processed carbs, things like that, I'm immediately tired, like tired to the point that I can't keep my eyes open. And so I know that that's a problem, and I know that my body is not handling that stuff well, nor should it handle that well. Like we want to say that we can have those in moderation, but even having them in moderation, it doesn't do anything for us. There's no nutrition there. And so we got talking about it, and I told him that there's some people that I know that had a problem with alcohol. And some of the people that I know quit drinking and they could not ever have a drop of alcohol again. And then there's other people that I know that had quit drinking and had been done drinking for years, but there was certain times a year where they would have a little bit and then they would move on with their life and they wouldn't drink the rest of the year. And then they would get back to that time and they would have a little bit and they would move on. And so I got to thinking, like, I wonder if it's the same way with me and sugar or me and like processed food. And after I didn't have the sugar for a while, because we cut this out last fall too. And after I didn't have it for a while, I got to where I didn't really want it. Like that's the first time that I have ever haven't been hungry after dinner, wanting to munch, always being snacky, never feeling full. I felt really, really good. And then I started to just have like a little thing here and there. And it didn't take very long before I was back to full blown eating whatever I wanted. I had convinced myself that it was too strict and I couldn't stay with it. And there's no reason that I can't have this stuff on occasion. But like I told my husband, it's a very slippery slope for me. And I've had this conversation too that I'm not saying I can't ever be able to have that stuff, but I know that right now I actually need to heal my gut because I've been having a lot of digestive type issues. And so I know that my gut needs healing. And a lot of times, if you take out the inflammatory stuff and you nourish your body well and give your body a chance to heal from the standard American diet, once you're healed, your body knows what to do when you have something that's a little bit less nutritious. So, if I can get to a place where my body is healed, I've lost the weight I want to lose, I feel great, my energy's high, I'm sleeping well, my digestion is good. If I can get to that place where all of these things are going well for me, I may or may not be able to go back to having sugar on a special occasion, on a date night, at a birthday party, whatever that looks like. I may be able to go back to that where it looks more like moderation, but I also may not be able to do that. And so wrapping my head around that and actually accepting that maybe that's just the way that I made, it kind of changed things because it made the decision for me. So, like right now, I'm not eating sugar. And if I get to a point where I'm feeling really good and my weight loss is good and all of that, and I try it again and it starts to be that slippery slope again, then I'll know that that's just not something I can have. And that's just something that I'm going to have to deal with. And yes, it's a bummer because who doesn't like having snacks and all those kinds of things? But if I can't just have a couple bites of cake and be satisfied and move on, um, if that causes me to go into a spiral, some things are not good for us to have. And the Bible talks about that, where I know it's not talking about food, but everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. And so I feel like that's how it can be. Is it a sin to have sugar? Absolutely not. Is it a sin to have fast food? Absolutely not. But if that causes you to fall into a place where, for me, when I'm eating that stuff, I get sluggish, I get very lazy, I get tired, I don't sleep well. I have all these repercussions, obviously weight gain and not feeling good in my body. And because of all those things, it does cause other things. It causes me to basically idolize food. Like I think about food all the time. When's my next meal coming? I'm always hungry. I need to stop and get a snack. I'm getting a headache. I have all of these issues. So it actually does probably start to fall into a sin category because I'm idolizing it. Like that's all I'm thinking about is food. But if I remove that, then I don't have that problem. And yeah, it kind of sucks for a while that you are somewhere and you're the only one that's not eating a brownie or whatever. But knowing what it does to me and wanting to be obedient in my walk with the Lord and all of those things, I can see where it becomes a very slippery slope to be something that is not necessarily sinful, but it can fall into a sinful state really quickly. And I think that's hard for us to sometimes reconcile because the world around us is very much so self-indulgent and very much so wanting to do whatever makes you happy and do whatever makes you feel good. When in reality, it's taking I mean, honestly, it's taking our lives away because I've spent so many years overweight that has absolutely taken over my life. Like trying different diets, chasing the quick way to lose weight, looking at different education opportunities. And I had mentioned before, I've taken like, I don't even know, 7 or 8 coaching certifications and just like learning. And because of that, I have some debt. So not only is it affecting my body, it's affecting my finances and it's affecting my family. And all of this because the world's telling me that it's okay to eat cookies in moderation. But for me, it's not moderation. And so for me to admit that and to do what I have to do to get that out of my life, I mean, it can be so many things, like we talk about alcoholism, we talk about corn. I didn't want to say the word out loud. We talk about that. We talk about, um, drugs, or we talk about shopping or gambling, like whatever it is. We talk about all of these sinful activities, but nobody ever talks about gluttony. And nobody ever talks about taking stuff out that causes that. And I know it's different with food because you can't stop eating food, where you can stop with alcohol, you can stop with, you know, these other vices. You can just take them out completely, and you can't do that with food. But you can do that with some foods. And I don't think it's necessarily our fault that we fall into that, because I do think that as someone that got married extremely young, I was 18 and I had babies right away, and we were super poor. And what do you buy? You buy all the box stuff and all of the stuff that's cheap to feed your family. And then before you know it, you're addicted to it. But they are manufacturing these things to be addictive to us. And it's so easy to just be like, it's fine, everybody eats it. But if you look around, everybody's not fine. There's so much disease and um, so many different things that come out of a bad diet, that it's crazy that we think it's okay, that we push it off as okay. And again, I don't think we need to go to extremes. I'm not saying that you need to cut out sugar, though I think that the benefits, you'd probably be super surprised. Um, but I think, just again, having that realization that for now, I need to cut these things out. And that doesn't mean that I'm being too strict or that I'm being too restrictive, and being able to, I've done a ton of mindset work on being able to wrap my mind around this and be okay with it, and to actually enjoy the food that I'm eating, and to not go into this, like, I'm going to cut everything out because everything's bad. Like, that wasn't my thoughts going into this. It was, this makes me feel really bad. And this makes me not be able to show up for my family. And this makes me not be able to walk in the calling that I feel the Lord has been calling me to for years, that I have run away from because of the state of my body. Like, how are you called into health and wellness when you can't even get it together yourself? And so there's so many different reasons why, outside of just that there's no nutritional value there and I need to let my body heal. There's just so many reasons outside of that, and so many things that are affected outside of that within my day-to-day life, that it's just not worth it. It's just not worth having that, whatever that sweet is. And like I said, there will come a point in time when, I will test it to see if I'm somebody that needs to completely leave it out of my life forever, or if I'm somebody that can have a little bit here and there and then move on with my day like a quote unquote normal eater. Um, that is yet to be seen, because I know that, again, there's a lot of stuff inside my body that needs to heal. And, that a lot of people would say that you just want to get to a point where your body's not reliant on sugar for energy. And you want to be able to go back and forth between using fat for energy and using sugar for energy. And that makes you, um, some people call it fat adapted, I guess, where your metabolism works normally and you can switch back and forth between the two. And so it's not a shock to your body if you have a donut for breakfast while you're on vacation, or if you go to a birthday party and have a piece of cake. Like, your body's not going to freak out about it, because you can go back and forth. And right now, I'm not there. Like, right now, I'm still stuck in the sugar burning, and my body wants sugar for fuel. And I am working on switching that over and getting my body to be in a fat burning state and keeping it there until my body's healed. And when I get down to my goal weight, then I can start toying around with this stuff and see how that works. And not everybody's this way. I mean, there are a lot of people that can just cut back on things and lose weight. But another thing that I've done a lot of mental work around is coming to the fact that everybody is different. God made us all different. Our bodies are all different. And for me right now, I need to cut those things out. And so, if this is something that you've been wanting to do, you feel a conviction to do, you know that you need to change something, but the people around you are just going to essentially give you crap about it and tell you that you're being too restrictive and there's no reason you're doing that. And, um, we're all going to die from something anyways, which is ridiculous, because we're not going to die from it. We're just going to have essentially no quality of life, is what eventually ends up happening. But we're not going to go into that today. I'm going to stay on topic for this video. Anyways, if you feel like you're surrounded by those kind of people and you want somebody that understands and that can hold you accountable and walk through this with you, I did build my group called 100 Pounds Down, and I would love to have you in there. Come in, get some accountability, be with like-minded women. This is brand spanking new. So if you decide to jump in now, you're obviously getting more one-on-one attention with me and a closer, like more intimate kind of coaching, um, kind of essentially like a very small group coaching program until it continues to build. So if that's something that you're excited about and want to jump in, obviously jump in while it's small and you can get that more specialized attention because obviously that'll be lesser as it grows. But all that to say, if you're looking for somebody to help you, I would be honored to be able to walk this out with you and to help you also do the mindset changes that I've done that actually make this possible because I've had this conviction for a long time, but walking it out just didn't feel possible until I got practical steps to help me do that. So if that's something you're looking forward to or something that you would be interested in, go to NicoleYoungCoaching.com. And there is a price to get in, but it's super low. It's less than a dinner out. So it's definitely something that I wanted to make affordable so that I can um, be that help to women that I have needed for so long. So I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.